Most people spend their entire 20s doing exactly what they were told to do. Get a degree, land a stable job, open a savings account, act responsibly, and then one day, sometime around 35, they look at their bank balance and realize that doing everything right somehow still left them behind. Here's what nobody told them. The people who got rich before 40 weren't smarter. They weren't luckier. They just operated with a completely different set of assumptions. I want to show you 7 of those assumptions. And I'll warn you now, one of them is going to feel deeply uncomfortable. Not because it's wrong, but because part of you already knows it's true. Stay with me on this, because habit number 4 is the one that separates people who talk about building wealth from people who actually do it. And I'll get to it. But first, let's start with the one that most people dismiss as too simple to matter. Habit 1. They stop treating income like the whole game. There's a 29-year-old named Marcus who works in product management at a mid-sized tech company in Austin. 6 years ago, he made $72,000 a year and felt behind. Today, he makes $140,000 and still feels behind. His lifestyle expanded to meet every raise. New car lease, bigger apartment, better vacations. His savings rate at $140,000 is almost identical to what it was at $72,000. This is not a Marcus problem. This is a system problem. The system is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the single most efficient wealth-destroying force available to a working adult. The people who built real wealth before 40 understood early, shockingly early, that income is just the raw material. What you do with it is the actual skill. In The Millionaire Next Door, Thomas Stanley found that most high-income earners in America had surprisingly low net worth, while many people with moderate incomes had quietly accumulated millions. The variable wasn't what they earned. It was the gap between what they earned and what they spent. That gap, that protected, deliberate gap, is where wealth actually lives. Habit 2. They automated decisions they didn't want to lose. Willpower is a terrible financial strategy. Everyone knows they should invest more. Everyone knows they should spend less on things that don't matter. Very few people do it consistently. Not because they're weak, but because they're human. And humans are spectacularly bad at making the same good decision repeatedly under variable emotional conditions. The fix isn't discipline. The fix is removing the decision entirely. People who built wealth early set up systems where money moved before they ever saw it. 401k contributions maxed on day 1 of employment. Auto transfer to a brokerage account the morning after every paycheck. The money was never available to spend, so it was never spent. Simple, almost boring, and devastatingly effective over time. James Clear calls this environment design. You don't rely on motivation. You build a system that makes the right behavior the default behavior. The wealthy before 40 crowd figured this out and then never thought about it again. Habit 3. They bought assets that bought more asset. Consider 2 people, both 30 years old, both with $50,000 in savings. One buys a car, a good one, practical, reasonable. The other puts that $50,000 into an index fund and drives a used Honda for another 4 years. By age 40, the first person has a car worth maybe $12,000. The second person has roughly $110,000 and still has a car. This is not an argument against cars. This is an argument against mistaking consumption for investment. Early wealth builders develop an almost allergic reaction to buying things that decline in value when they could be buying things that grow. Index funds, rental properties, equity stakes in businesses, skills that compound into higher earning power over time. They weren't ascetics. They weren't miserable. They just got obsessive about the direction money moved when it left their hands. Every dollar either came back with friends or it didn't. They preferred the ones that came back with friends. Habit 4. The uncomfortable one. They manage their social environment like a portfolio. Here it is, the one that lands differently. Your income is heavily influenced by the 5 people you spend the most time with. Not because of some mystical law of attraction, but because your reference points for what's normal, what's possible, and what's worth wanting come almost entirely from the people around you. If everyone in your circle carries credit card debt and calls it adult life, you will too. If everyone in your circle talks about their investments over dinner, you will too. People who built wealth before 40 were deliberate, sometimes ruthlessly deliberate, about this. They didn't necessarily drop old friends, but they consciously added new relationships. People who were doing what they wanted to do, thinking the way they wanted to think. Mentors, masterminds, peers who were slightly ahead and honest about how they got there. This isn't elitism. It's just taking seriously the idea that proximity shapes possibility. And the people who got rich early took it very seriously. Habit 5. They treated their salary like a floor, not a ceiling. A 32-year-old teacher in Ohio started selling lesson plan templates on a teacher's marketplace on weekends. First month, $80. Sixth month, $2,400. By year 2, that side income exceeded her teaching salary. And she had choices she'd never had before. The people who got wealthy before 40 almost universally had more than one stream of income before they hit 35. Not because their day job wasn't enough, but because they understood that a single income stream, no matter how solid, is a single point of failure. Freelance work, digital products, small stakes in businesses, consulting. The specific vehicle didn't matter as much as the habit of always looking for the next one. They were never fully satisfied with that posture, held consistently, compounds in ways that are hard to predict and nearly impossible to replicate on a fixed income alone. Habit 6. They played long games in a short game world. In 2012, a guy named Daniel put $10,000 into an S&P 500 index fund and left it alone. He didn't check it when the market dropped 20% in 2022. He didn't celebrate when it recovered. He barely thought about it. By 2024, that $10,000 had become roughly $35,000 without a single clever decision after the first one. The financial world is built to make you act. New opportunities, hot sectors, urgent headlines. All of it is optimized to create movement, because movement generates fees, commissions, and content. But the data is embarrassingly clear. The best performing accounts at Fidelity have historically belonged to people who forgot they had them. Building wealth before 40 is not about finding the best opportunities. It's about surviving long enough with your capital intact for time to do its work. The wealthy before 40 understood patience not as passive resignation, but as an active, competitive advantage in a world full of impatient people. Habit 7. They invested in their own earning power first. Before index funds. Before real estate. Before any of it. The single best investment a person in their 20s can make is in the skill that generates the money in the first place. A $500 course that raises your freelance rate by $20 an hour pays back in weeks. A $2,000 certification that lands a $15,000 raise pays back in months. The people who built wealth before 40 were aggressive investors in themselves, not in a self-help vision board way, but in a cold, calculating return on investment way. They were always asking, what skill, if I acquired it this year, would generate the most additional income over the next 5? They studied markets. They learned to negotiate. They became genuinely excellent at something specific enough to be paid well for it. And then they took that money and put it into everything else on this list. Here's what all 7 of these have in common. None of them require luck, a perfect market, or a windfall. They require a decision, made early and held for a long time. The people who got rich before 40 didn't have access to some hidden playbook. They just started treating wealth building as a skill worth practicing every single day, the same way they practiced anything else they cared about being good at. The only question worth asking isn't whether these habits work. They work. The question is which one you're going to start this week. If this shifted how you think about money even slightly, there's a video coming next week that goes deep on why most people never actually start investing, even when they know they should. It's more psychological than financial, and honestly, it's the one I wish I'd watched at 25. Subscribe so you don't miss it.